Ken Trahan with Lenny Vangilder. It's our First NBC Bank weekend preview, brought to you by First NBC Bank with 39 locations throughout southeast Louisiana and into the Florida Panhandle. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. Let's start with high school because the high school weekend's kicked off Thursday night, continues Friday night, including one of the great American rivalry series games in this country, as good as it gets. Get there early. Vangilder, live at SportsNOLA.com. Tape delayed Saturday at noon on WHNO TV 20. And as Steve Robichaux said in the feature I did on the game, you better get there by like 2 o'clock and expect the stands to be full by about 4.
It's unreal, like anything you'll ever see in terms of high school football in this area, because it's true. I mean, if you're not there early, you're not going to get a seat. You may not get in the gate. I'm sure the fire marshal will be out just making sure they bring in extra seats, and it is truly a great atmosphere. I mean, you want to talk about something that resembles college football just in terms of the athletes on the field and the passion in the stands and things like that. This is as good as it gets on the high school level in southeast Louisiana.
Be a wonderful setting, and of course watch it live at SportsNOLA.com as mentioned Friday night. And radio Thursday night, East Jefferson and John Ehret, 6:30 from Haas-Memphis Stadium on WGSO 990 AM. And then Saturday night, we have a combination of a radio broadcast along with a stream at SportsNOLA as Shaw takes on Holy Cross at Tad Gormley Stadium at 7 p.m. Watch it live at SportsNOLA.com. Listen to it live at WGSO 990 AM. A busy weekend. And, of course, the original Friday night, 6 p.m. to midnight, 6 hours of unprecedented coverage of high school football, including Holy Cross night over at Lakeview Harbor on the radio show, and of course on the SportsNOLA side, the scoreboard, which everybody comes to, that you need to come to as well to get all of your scores Friday night. The original on WGSO 990 AM, 9 stations around the state, and through SportsNOLA.com. Just don't look at my ugly mug during the show because they keep showing that too.
Yeah, just tune in wherever you are, wherever you're at the games. Check your phone. Get the scores on our All-State Sugar Bowl scoreboard. No better place to get them. We've got them the most up-to-date. Everybody in the state comes to us to get the scores. So that's the best thing I can tell you about it. And look, this is a big time. A lot of district play starting this weekend. You mentioned the Catholic League, of course, the river parishes as well, where we'd be there for Vangilder, Trahan, the North Shore League getting started as well. So those leagues with it, more than 6 teams, this is the week they get started.
Look forward to it. College football, Tulane at home against Louisiana, Lafayette, and this will be another good draw, another good crowd at Yeoman Stadium. That's why it's good to play Southern at home, good to play Louisiana Lafayette at home. They'll get the people. Now they need to get the win if they are, of course, Tulane that we're referencing.
Exactly. Can they get this one? And look, we talked about at the beginning of the year, the first 5 games were games that were very friendly on the schedule, if it were. And this is a great opportunity for Tulane this week, and then next week at UMass. You've got a chance to maybe be 3-2 at the end of that, and you do that, and some things break right for you in league play. Who knows? We might be talking about a Tulane team that's playing in December, but this week and next week are critical if you're going to reach that point.
Who starts at quarterback? Who plays at quarterback?
Well, it sounds like it will indeed be the freshman Brantley once again. Will we see a little bit more of Glenn Coulier? I think that's a possibility. I think you've got to work him into the mix rather than just throwing him out there at the end when all of a sudden you've got to try to execute a 2-minute drive when you're down 7. Get him in there and let him get a feel for the game before you suddenly have to put him out there. And obviously, if you're in a situation where you need to pass the football, he becomes your best option, clearly.
LSU at Auburn, and Danny Etling gets his first road start. We know how it went in Brandon Harris's first ever start at Auburn, but this is a different animal. Etling's got time under his belt. LSU's a slight favorite, and this figures to be another one of those nail-biters.
What will we be calling this game when it's over? So many nicknames of games that we've heard over the years. The great LSU-Auburn series going back to, I guess, the earthquake game in 1988. Ron Sancho had some great stories to tell about that Wednesday on Prep Recruiting Insider, the former Shaw and LSU standout. But it's this is a game that, again, LSU has got what's turning out to be a friendly schedule on the front end of SEC play, and they've got to continue to pile up victories. It's going to get a lot tougher when you get into the latter part of the schedule. Your last 4 SEC games are Ole Miss, Alabama, Arkansas, and Texas A&M. All 4 of those teams are nationally ranked.
Saints, of course, don't play until Monday night against the Falcons. The news there obviously bad about P.J. Williams. Looks like he's done for the year. Who knows about his future? The same kind of situation with Damian Swann. I mean, the Saints, look, you can say anything you want about them, and it sticks, but they have had terrible fortune. Keenan Lewis, Damian Swann, Delvin Breaux, P.J. Williams. Who in the NFL can play with their 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th cornerbacks and have any chance to be successful?
Well, basically what you're lining up with now is a guy you picked up off the street 2 weeks ago in Sterling Moore and, an undrafted free agent rookie in Ken Crawley. And that's what you're lining up with against the quarterback who's put up the best numbers in the NFL through 2 weeks in Matt Ryan. Yeah. And look, what do we know about this Saints-Falcons series? It's always going to be close, just like we've seen in the first 2 games of the season for the Saints. You can expect this one to go down to the wire as well. Sean Payton has had the Falcons' number over the years, 15-5 since he's arrived. So, let's see if that trend holds. I will tell you this, you can expect the atmosphere to be unbelievable in the Dome Monday night.
Last but not least, Pelicans Media Day Friday, full coverage at SportsNOLA.com, so check that out as well. That's our First NBC Bank weekend preview, brought to you by First NBC Bank with 39 locations throughout southeast Louisiana and into the Florida Panhandle. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. Have a great weekend.
We'll see you next week.
You have a great weekend as well. Until then, thanks for joining us, and God bless.